All right, what is up, guys? So, we're gonna do chest today. Nothing different. I think it's 4 exercises. I'm gonna do. I really like the dumbbells that we did for the first exercise. We'll do dumbbell bench press. Yeah. Last time I wanted to do it with the Smith machine on an incline position, but it was completely occupied. But now there isn't much people actually in the gym, so I'm pretty sure we'll be able to do it because I had to substitute that with the I'm not sure what it's called. It's like a pressing movement. It's not fully inclined like what you would do in a Smith machine, but it's actually right next to the ones that we would casually do. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna put it on the Smith machine. Then after that we'll just move to isolations, cable crossovers, and machine flies. Yesterday I did back. Yeah, I did back. Yesterday was a Friday. No. Yesterday was a Saturday. Then the day before we did forearms and abs. That was a Friday. Then on Thursday I did arms. Yeah, that's what happened. So there's been Friday, Saturday, 2 days since I did the delts. I think we'll do it. Yeah, because it would be different if it was something like the legs or the back, but the delts are very small. I think they don't feel super sore. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see by the time we're done with chest, we'll do a little bit of a pose, and if I can keep on going, we'll go for delts. If not, I'd rather just do that in a different day. Yeah, or I can just do that on the next chest day. Not the best thing I would do because that would leave a big time gap between the last time I would do delts. But it ultimately depends. Yeah. So yeah, let's get it moving. Let's get the 70s. Only it's the launch. Just I'll do it though. Nope. That was hilarious. Let's get the 60s. Let's move on though.
I wanted to do the 70s, but there was only one. Then I got the 75 and I almost fell on my ass. Just put a, you know what? Because I haven't done it here in a while. Let's just put a 35. Cool. All right. Nice. Let me take off the 10, yeah, and redo that. Okay. So what's the isolations? It's actually pretty late. It's one of the things with these two, is making sure on the positive, like where that stretch, basically just flexing it out. When we do that, it pops out. What was that, like 10? I think so. I did a few more reps, so it's compensate. Okay, let's do flies now. Yep. Yeah. Every time I do this, and even the cable crossovers, it's like all the blood is coming from the chest, but most of all here, in the upper chest. I like psychologically where I'm just doing each one, and I just see this getting red, but like dark red. Hold up. Yeah, let's increase the weight. Six. Yeah, let's do step by step. We'll just drop set it then. Gonna bring all the blood in, why not? Okay. Let's post down. I gotta do calves. I haven't done them in a while. I'd be a hypocrite if I said I was. And the legs recovery speed too is like ramping up as well. Which, you know what? I mean, I don't even think that's much of a good thing, to be honest. You know, this is kind of tricky for me because I think often like I always try each exercise that I do to get kind of the same feeling. And I'm not sure if I'm just delusional on that fact. But even so, even if I am, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I'm always just radically just trying to improve. I think over the past 4 months, I've been kind of, let's say, repeating the same ideas in terms of changing my workouts, and so far, it hasn't impacted bigly for whether I'm doing chest days or leg days or arm days. So I don't know. I think I might look at something extra because I noticed that okay, what I thought I could change isn't hitting what it used to be as before. But that's part of the game, you know. That is part of the game. I'm sure it has to do now with just a manner of intensity. Yeah. All right. Let's pick this up. Yeah, I don't. I have to research that because or else I'm gonna keep like running in this loop like a little mouse, thinking I'm going somewhere, but I'm just going over and over and over and over again, and that's not what I want. Let me derail a little bit because last month, you know, I did see a video from. It was a video related to Serge Nubret. If you guys don't know Serge Nubret, he used to compete in the Golden Era with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sergio Oliva. But Serge Nubret had a, let's say, a pretty unorthodox way of working out, which is a lot of sets. Like he did a lot of sets, a lot of reps. I think he did a lot of the times he would do 70 sets, not 70 sets. He would do in one day 40 sets, 40 reps, but he wouldn't do it with so much weight. No. He would be looking at a lot more for the pump. You see, that really interests me because I first started working out like that. It was mostly the pump. It was just the pump. And I got very big doing that. But I plateaued and so I had to change to the whole 12 reps to 14 reps and do heavy weights because that's just what's commonly more done. But I mean, we'll be likely returning. Likely, I'm not saying that we will, but we'll likely return back to that in the cut because you want to mark as much definition as possible, as much shape too.
and you want to tone the muscles as much as it shows the striations and such. That's where the cardio comes in. You know, the cardio is mostly in the workouts itself, based on the sets, the amount of tension that you're placing, the amount of rest that you're placing. Like one thing I really like what Serge says is like, people criticize other people because they train more than an hour, right? That's pretty common. But here's the problem. How long does it take you on how many minutes does it take you to do each set, right? Usually it might take you, let's say if you're doing 12 reps, that might take you what, 30 seconds? But how long do you rest? 2 minutes. So in reality, you're resting more. I mean, that's pretty obvious, but you're resting the a big portion of your time when you're in the gym is literally resting. And let's say 20 to 30% of that is working out. That's what really interests me what Serge says. And I think he's right on that. You do want to apply more time in the sets coming in. So really training an hour is irrelevant. What matters is how long you actually do the set and how it compounds over time. This is gonna start like a whole range of debates, because you have two sides. You have one side that's saying you train with a lot of volume, a lot of frequency, and then there's the other side that says you train with heavier weights but with lower frequency. Uh, in reality, it's whatever's better for you. But Serge wasn't the only one that trained like that. He had like a whole community of people training under his gym back in the 70s doing that. And everyone there looked like a bodybuilder. Like they had striations, muscles, definition, they looked competitive bodybuilders in that gym. And they were training 40 sets. So that really interests me, because that's how I started working out too, a year ago, and I grew a lot. That's where my foundations came from. It was the okay, muscle to mind connection, range of motion, not the weights, but just that feeling of pushing and pushing out, and then just feeling it squeeze and flex out. I want to try that back again. Yeah, I do. Maybe I'm thinking about it the wrong way though, of applying it, because since I've already done it, I probably have to approach it in a different, let's say in a more intense way. Maybe shorter rests, somewhat mixtures of supersets or pauses of variations. That could work out. Although pauses are kind of irrelevant because I've done that stuff. Like the thing is, when you do lighter weights, doing those pauses and rests are not super effective. It's different if you're deloading, but in that case, no. It's different if you're putting more weight. Yeah. If you're stacking on more weights, you definitely want to be going slower, because then you're applying stimulation. I'm kind of just brainstorming. Yeah. I'm really getting down to like the foundations of like, if you go slower with heavier weight, there's more force. So your fibers stretch out and expand. So the more force that comes outward when that's happening, the more they're gonna break. But with the higher frequency, it's like just micro tears and micro tears. Let's say maybe the level of stretching, not stretching like this, but level of tension and stretching has to be higher for me now, because I've came from frequency, then I went into heavy weights, and not like 4 sets, but I let's say I say heavy weights, but in reality it's normal. Like I've done 12 reps or 14 reps. For me it's heavy because I've come from 25 reps or 30 reps. I've done many reps. But if I could find like a middle ground in between those, I think we should see something crazy, because that's how I started. And I believe that. Like I think there's something there to discover. But yeah, some of this is theoretical. I'm pretty confident, but at the end it is theoretical. We'll have to see. I definitely want to up my game because I'm kind of just going in circles and circles for these past 4 months of like one day I get the best workout, and then the next week I get a normal one, and then maybe 4 days later I get a mediocre, right? And then it just kind of goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Uh, it does. Yeah, it does. I didn't have that when I was starting the first 5 months. The first 5 months, it was just like struggle, 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 struggle. And I'm trying to get there. Maybe I'm a bit delusional. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably very delusional on that. But I really want to see if I can get it. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace.